Have you ever wondered what the numbers boxing coaches call out mean? For example, they might say 163 or 1232. Well, in this video, I'm going to break down the punches 1 to 6, telling you how to throw them with perfect technique. Make sure you join my free school community, which is linked in the description. You'll get all my free boxing courses, that's fundamentals, strategy and tactics. And you'll also get 1,600 people in that community, which can give you feedback on your footage, whichever footage you upload to the community. Starting with number 1, that is the jab. Now the jab is the most used and useful punch in boxing. It's actually the only punch that's an arm punch, and it's used to set up other shots, other bigger, harder shots. With the jab, all it is an arm punch. So we get into our boxing stance, 60% of the weight on our back foot, 40% on the front foot. Good shape, chin down. All we're doing is moving our arm from this position here to this position here. I've turned over my knuckles, I've extended my arm, and I'm looking down the arm and kinked over my wrist like this. I'm not rotating from here to this position. If I rotate my jab out, that means that I'm already initially not side on enough. I'm too square on. If I'm going from here to here, a good way to better your stance is if you're rotating your jab, leave your jab there, keep your torso still, and bring the jab back. This is the position you should already be in. The jab has to be fast and has to be like a whip. So your arm has to be super relaxed. It starts at the shoulder. So your hand's like this. Your shoulder initiates the movement like that. Your hand doesn't pull back before you throw it. So your shoulder initiates it, and then your arm comes out like this. So it looks like this. All I'm doing, starting with the shoulder, and the shoulder's just pushing my arm out like that. It's like a wave of energy going through my arm, straight out into the knuckles, which I'm turning over and kinking my wrist. I'm maintaining shape as I'm throwing it, keeping my hands high, keeping my elbow tucked in. A good tip for the jab is we keep our hand open until it lands on impact. Even then, you don't necessarily need to clench it up. The idea is to keep it nice and relaxed, and it needs to be fast so our opponent doesn't see it coming, and it helps us line up the other shots, like the right hand or the left hook. Number 2 is the cross. Now the cross is a pretty hard punch to throw. There's a lot of mechanics involved, but I want you to focus on maintaining weight on your back foot. So remember, heel off the ground slightly, keeping that weight back throughout the duration of it. We're rotating our hips from this position here, the neutral position, to this position here, which is the rotated position. From here to here, our arm doesn't move. It stays like this, but it stays relaxed, cocked and ready to fire. So we rotate to here. As we get to here, we let our arm just spring out like this, right? Best way to learn this is keep your upper arm still and just let your arm drop like that under gravity. This motion here is the exact same motion as when you throw it. You notice my head isn't coming forward. I'm not transferring the weight onto the front foot. You can tell this by the fact I'm not straightening my back leg. My back knee is at the same angle at the start of the punch till the end of the punch. Stays here, it just rotates around like this. Still the same angle here as it was there. There's still the same amount of weight on it there. Your arm needs to be super relaxed right until the moment of impact. All joints are fully extended, and I'm sort of trying to drop my knuckles onto the target. So my wrist goes in a straight line from A to B, but the extension of my arm is what whips my wrist down and lands on the knuckle. That's what I mean by dropping it in. So as my arm extends, my wrist will kink over naturally and I'll land on the knuckles. We want to try and aim to land on the knuckles with all of our punches, because if you think about the surface area you're transferring all that force through, the less surface area there is, the more pressure there will be and the greater damage it will do. So that's the cross. As soon as you fired it, it comes straight back to your chin. Also want to make sure that I'm tracing my knuckles with my elbow. So my elbow isn't coming out at an angle like this. It's following the same path as my wrist and knuckles are, like that. So it doesn't come out like this. If it comes out like this, I'll lose power as I'm doing more of like a tricep extension. It needs to come straight off the rotation of the body like this. That's how you throw the cross. Number 3 is the left hook, or the lead hook if you're southpaw. Now, the lead hook, the best way I can explain it is like this. You're in the neutral position. You can't throw the lead hook from this position because you over-rotate and you'll lose stability in this front leg. Therefore, you have to rotate to this position. Then you bring the arm up here, roughly 90 degrees, depending on the range at which you're throwing it at. I'm going to have my palm facing down. I'm going to have it facing me. And I'm just rotating back from this position, back to that neutral position, and no further than there. That should be enough to land my punch. If I rotate any further, then I'll lose the stability in this knee as it will cave. You'll see a lot of people, they teach it pivoting on that front leg. Just try not to do that. Just make sure you get the hip rotation right. People teach that because they're trying to teach the rotation of the body. But if you can just rotate your hips from here to here without moving that leg, which you don't need to do, then you'll throw a much more effective left hook. So remember, I'm keeping my shape, keeping my weight on the back foot. 60% of the weight is here. Rotate into this position. As I do that, I'm bringing my hand up, bringing my hand out like this. And then as I rotate back to here, my shoulder should pop slightly. Not like dislocate or anything bad, but as I'm rotating this way, the natural flexion of my shoulder is what's going to bring around my hand a little bit quicker. So as I come to here, as I'm coming backwards, as I'm coming back to this position, my shoulder will come first naturally because it's a joint, and then the rest of my hand will come around, the rest of my arm will come around. And that little pop there is what speeds up my knuckles and does more damage. You can also throw it longer range by turning your knuckles over. You can throw it shorter range by having your palm facing you. Or you can throw it like this and dig your knuckles in at pretty much any range. Remember, I'm maintaining shape, keeping my elbow tucked in, keeping my right hand high, and I'm not over-rotating, dipping this knee in, keeping my weight back. I'm also not over-rotating this way before I throw it, because again, you'll see my foot is rolled onto the side. We don't want our feet to roll onto the side, whether it's this way or that way. We want to keep them planted into the ground. And doing that will allow us to have a lot more stability in our lead hook. Next one is number 4, and that's the rear hook. Now, the rear hook's very similar to the lead hook. All we're doing is we're starting in this neutral position, but we're bringing our hand up to here. Our elbow is the same height as our wrist, and we're just rotating from here to the target, which is this rotated position, the starting position of the left hook. That's how you can make your punches flow together. So bring our hand up here, rotate to there, and then we're just bringing our hand back to our chin as we rotate back to this position. The same thing applies with the ranges. I can turn my knuckle over like that, and it'd be a longer range shot, or I can turn my palm facing down like this, mid-range, or close range like that. We're trying to maintain this same angle of our arm. If we change the angle of our arm as we're throwing the punch, then it will have nowhere near as much effect, and you'll probably fuck up your elbow. So as you bring it into position, keep that same angle and rotate. The same thing with the shoulder. As you're rotating, your shoulder might flex a little bit and bring around your arm a little bit quicker. So that's only going to be a good thing because you'll hit the target with much more speed. Same things apply with that one, keeping the weight back, 60% of the weight on the back foot. Try not to over-rotate your back foot like this as you throw it, because again, you're losing stability in your legs. Your legs are your foundation and allow you to punch with power. It's the same thing with the cross or the right uppercut as well. We're not over-rotating our heel like this. We only rotate our foot to the direction of the punch at a maximum. Me, myself, I sort of just go like this. As long as I'm rotating my hips enough, I don't really care what my foot's doing, as long as it's nice and planted. Number 5 is the lead uppercut. The lead uppercut is probably the hardest one to throw out of these 6 punches. And it's the same principle as a lead hook. We're rotating our hips from here to here. As we do that, we drop our hand. Our elbow should be just on the side of our body like this, and our palm should be facing upwards. So as we rotate to here, we drop our hand to this angle of our arm as well, about 90 degrees like that. As we get to this position, that same shoulder flexion allows us to initiate the movement. So as we go to here, our shoulder should start to initiate the start of this lead hook. As it does, we're bringing our hips back into the neutral position. As we do that, we bring the punch up vertically. So I rotate to here, shoulder flexion, then I bring it up like that. I'm not leaning over here. I'm trying to stay on the axis of rotation. Imagine there's an axis going from the top of your head and through your torso. All you can do is rotate about that axis. You'll notice my knee is staying still. If my knee bends in like this, that means I'm losing stability again. So try not to lean and try not to bend your knee in. Those are the two things you should think about. Rotate from here, drop your hand to here, and then just let that shoulder bring it up like that. It needs to come up vertically, and your shoulder should come to your chin. But I'm not going to do that because it will stop. It will disrupt the mic and it'll go all muffled. So to here, let the hand drop, the shoulder initiates, brings it straight up. When we bring it up, we want a slight kink in our wrist to help land on the knuckle part. So as it comes up like that, have a slight kink, concentrate all that power through one or two knuckles. Same things apply with the stance, keeping weight back, using the rotation of our hips to get the movement right. That's number 5. Number 6 is the rear uppercut. The rear uppercut, same things apply as the cross. Keep our weight back. We're just rotating our knee from here to here. I'm not changing the angle of my knee at any point throughout the duration of that rotation. It's going from here to here and back again. It's not going like this. If I go like this, that means all my weight's transferring into my front foot, my head is now in range, and I have no power in my punch. With the rear uppercut, all we're doing is letting gravity drop our arm like that. And then as it gets to about here, we start to rotate our body. As we rotate our body, imagine someone's put a ball in our hand. So we've dropped our hand to here, someone's put a ball in our hand, and we're rotating it like this. As we rotate to this position, we're just going to throw that ball vertically up in the air. That's what we need to imagine. So let gravity drop our hand to here, rotate our body, bring the punch vertically upwards. As we bring it up, we need to kink our wrist, land on the knuckles, same as always. We want to relax our arm as much as we can. And a way of doing this is letting it drop slightly out to the side. If we let it drop slightly out to the side, then we can draw this sort of C shape, and we can whip about the elbow joint, our arm up a lot faster. So let it drop slightly out to the side, catch the ball, throw the ball, kink the wrist on impact. It should look like this. By the way, my head shouldn't be coming forward. It should be staying where it is because my weight is going to stay back. Now, there's 3 different ranges we can use. We can bring it long range, where we let it drop. We just bring it a little bit longer like this. Sometimes we want to draw a bigger C when we throw that punch long range. We can throw it mid range, which is what I was just doing. Bring it to about this range, or we can throw it short range. Now, if we throw it short range, it means we're probably on the inside, so it'd be a little bit more square on. We can actually use a little bit of a dip in our knees just to get up and under to bring that shot up. Although, don't worry about that for now. Just think about rotating your body and just bringing it up nice and close range. Those are punches 1 to 6. You now need to put them into combinations. So I've made a video on this, 5 basic boxing combinations that all beginners should learn. So go watch that one now and join the free school community.